All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Psycho's Platters. That's right. Always powered by coffee each and every time. Let's pray we got the tech gremlins under control now. Speaking, of course, last week's episode, well, the storms were really bad, literally, and it was really, really weird. I was just about ready to sign off on you guys, and then the whole internet literally went for about a good, 10, 15 minutes. It was real weird. You know, I kind of get tired of the tech gremlins. I do. Maybe someday I'll actually be able to afford real internet and real computer. Till then, this is what you get. Well, yeah, we're talking about last week's episode as to why it got cut off so sudden. Because, like I said, the internet died just as I was getting ready to shove off of here that last week. Yes, good afternoon to you too, Mick. Say hello to everybody. We are dedicating this episode of Psycho's Platters to Ray Hildebrand, who was Paul of Paul and Paula. You know, that hey, Paula, I wanna hey, Paula. You guys are like, fuck. And we're also dedicating it to a hardcore, badass wrestling legend, Mr. Terry Funk. Unfortunately, has passed away. I found this out minutes before I came to air. I'm like, what the hell? I don't know if you're into wrestling or not, but Terry Funk literally was a badass. There's a great little documentary on him on YouTube. Beyond the Mat's got some, from old stuff if you want to see the older Terry Funk stuff. But there's another Terry Funk documentary, which I think was made a year or two ago. So, yeah. Now, saying that, though, Nick, Greg, everybody, that it is broiling out here. It's been 100 degrees or more for like the last 10 days. Now, I don't know where in the country you live in. I think it's still 2/3 broiling. Right. He was in that. Terry Funk was a badass, and unfortunately, I really wish I could tell you I met him, but then I'd be a liar. I always wanted to meet Terry Funk. I mean, let's face it, he was in every damn wrestling promotion from the 70s to, the 10s? I even heard he did a handful of shows pre-COVID, and I'm going, good God, man. But I digress. So if you're in the central part of the country, especially south central, there's a tropical storm Harold or something, and I don't know the update of all of it, but it was, in the Gulf. And usually when we get the Gulf stuff, the tropical storms and the hurricanes and junk, we'll get even into northwest Arkansas. It'll come all the way up there, and our weather patterns will change. So I am told that we will go from like 100 to 105 to about 88 on Sunday and then 82 on Monday. So I'm hoping that's true. That's all I'm saying on that. I wish ours was a mild summer. I would have loved that. 65 and go to, I damn wish it was 65 here. Anyways, so we're dedicating this to Ray Hildebrand and Terry Funk. That's the only deaths I remember seeing this week anyway. Also, we got new subscribers to the Psycho Network. That's right. We got Brian Gillum Music and My Speed Demon. That's right. 2 new people to the Psycho's Platters Network. Yeah, Greg says it's been in the 90s where he's at. 68 in Massachusetts right now, says Nick. Little commercial real quick, if you will allow me to. So, Jukebox from Hell, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, I did not expect this series to go great. I have gotten lots of suggestions. I've already got lists. Season 2, we're going to be wrapping it up very soon. We just got done with the 1987 album Pool It. This one here signed by Davey, back when I met him in 05. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, please do so. We actually, this has turned into the number 2 most watched video of the season of Jukebox from Hell. It is behind Black Oak Arkansas. Never would have thought. Never would have thought. But yeah, and just see what we talk about there. And there's some behind the scenes and stuff. And so that's episode 17. Episode 18, which I'm probably be filming it over the weekend. Because what I didn't tell you guys is I had a lot of medical tests, and we'll talk about that in a minute, okay? But episode 18 will be from 1973 on Wooden Nickel Records. The original lineup of Styx, yes, that's right, John Kurlowski instead of Tommy Shaw. He ain't there yet for another almost 3 years. The Serpent is Rising. Yes, I do love me some OG Styx, but this is the one here that kind of is the weakest link, they say, in the original OG Styx. Now, yeah, this cover's kind of goofy a little bit, but look, yeah, see, it's coming at you. See, yeah, he says, like that cover, yeah, right. I'll tell you what was better than this one is Man of Miracles with Merlin. Oh, I like that cover. And if you are a Styx fan, especially that OG stuff that I told you about, you want to try to get an original first press. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, what's a first press of Man of Miracles? Unless you're an Uber Styx fan, you're going to know this answer. So the first press of Man of Miracles has got a cover of Lies. Now, we're talking the classic Knickerbocker song from '66. They decided to do a cover of Lies in '74. It's not bad. It's really not. But I thought I heard there was some issues with the publishing company, and they had to yank it. I said yank it off the Man of Miracles album, and they stuck Best Thing instead, which of course was from Styx's Styx. I found a Best of Monkeys signed by Peter Tork for $1 at a Salvation Army. Oh hell, that's a steal. Got a good amount for it. Wish I'd known you're a Monkeys fan. You know what? And Nick, I would have loved you for it, because I'm going to tell you the truth on something, okay? I still am looking for another Peter Tork autograph. Now, I know you guys are going, well, Pete's dead. What are you going to do about it? And the thing is, it's not for me. My Illinois bestie, Kathy Emmer, sometimes she watches this. She's not on YouTube, but she'll see these videos from time to time. Kathy's an awesome person, okay? I'm just going to say keep her in your prayers. That's all I'm going to say, okay? So, we met Davey together. Okay, she's a big Monkeys fan, too. Oh, and I do have a monkey find I'm going to show you in a little bit after I get done showing this other stuff, too. And some Beatles related, too. So sit tight, guys, because we'll get to that in a little bit. But you know me, I yap. So, we met Davey together, so she got Davey's autograph. Then we got, I went and saw Mickey in 2010, and I got a signed 8x10 signed to Kathy, and she couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe I actually got that for her, and I'm like, well, why wouldn't I get it for you? I said, I know how much you love him just like I do. And then Mike, I've never got to meet Mike, okay, but through Video Ranch before he died, I went and got 2 CDs of different drum, the RCA stuff, and he'd sign them personally. So I got one personalized to me, and Kathy doesn't have this yet. I have a signed Nez. I'm not kidding you. This is like a couple months before he died. So very happy to give that to her. So that's why I'm looking for a Peter autograph. I don't have a spare Peter Tork autograph. Seriously. because I want to get one for her. That's all there is to it. Sorry, hang on a minute. You know, I'll tell you something. My phone's been blowing up a lot these last few days. Before I get into more records, can I be personal with you for a minute? I've never really hid anything from you guys, okay? And my life is almost an open book. It really, really is. But I've had to have a lot of medical tests done this week. Of course, most of it is for, to get my new knee. We are under 30 days now. I want to start feeling like a man again, because what I'm saying by that is that, when you're not feeling so good, okay, and I know all of us can relate to this, when you're not feeling so good, you don't feel completely like yourself. You feel like something's missing. And this knee here has been my problem child since age 17. I will be 56 next month. And only in the last 2 years did it get no cartilage, bone on bone, okay? So it's been 11 months since I originally filed for all of this stuff, okay? And I ended up getting a chest x-ray and a lab EKG. This is a pre-requirement. So I get a phone call. Monday, excuse me. And they're like, Mr. Pease, yes. We'd like you in for lab EKG. I said, I just got done doing a lab EKG. Why are you getting... No. You need an echocardiogram. I'm like, nobody told me I needed an echocardiogram. Doesn't say it on my email. Nothing. So they're like, well, we need you to come in to get an echocardiogram. Not only do you need to get an echocardiogram, now, has anybody had this next test? And if you have, can you please give me cliff notes as to what this is? I am scheduled for next Wednesday a nuclear stress test. What the hell is that? So I gotta have all this shit. Oh, I did my blood work today too. Okay. And so I don't know is what I'm getting at. And I don't like all this. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to, just give me a minute or two of patience, please. Don't leave yet. I know there's better things to do. I know sometimes they listen to the Village BC idiot here, okay, me. It's just, I'm getting discouraged, okay, guys? I'm getting discouraged and I'm depressed. You guys don't even really know my levels of both of those, all right? And I'm trying real hard. When you're in your teens or 20s or 30s, it's a little easier to bounce back physically, mentally, okay? When you get into your 40s, 50s, and then past that, it ain't so easy. And I know, I'm a very impatient person. I am. I'm an asshole sometimes, okay? And I don't like it. I end up having to take things to try to put it down more, okay? So, a nuclear stress test. I don't know what that is. I'm being very honest. I sent Schnee a signed Neil Diamond record. Look at you. The only signed records that I ever found out in the wild were country related. Like I couldn't believe, I found like for 10 cents at a yard sale in Illinois under a bridge. Right? A complete band signed Hank Thompson and the Brazos Valley Boys. The whole back cover was signed by each and every member. I have a complete band signed Lovin' Spoonful and the story to go with it. And they were signed in 3 different markers, and it does not look it's signed by the same person. The girl was a teenager, and they came to Little Rock, and she waited, and she managed to, in 1966, 66 or early 67. But yeah, it was one of the early Spoonful albums. So I've got that too, and I didn't spend too much. So yeah, sometimes I can get things done. I've done 4 blood work, and they still don't know what's going on. I'm sorry about that, Greg. I really, really am. That has got to be frustrating for you, and all I can say is I'll be praying, okay? Because I don't know what you got, and it's none of my business. I totally understand that. So tomorrow I have to go in, though, because I think I got a kidney infection. Because I thought it was my back was hurting, but it's been almost like 5 days now. I'm going, this isn't my back, and I mean it's not searing pain. It's a dull, low pain. So hopefully I can get that cleared up, over the weekend. That'd be nice. Oh, so one last thing, and then I'll shut up about my health issues. Okay, I appreciate your patience here, all 11 of you. And I'm sorry to say this, and I'm just throwing this out there, but sometime in early September, I'm going to put maybe a banner, or I'm going to put something in the introductions to my videos, due to that I will be out of commission from the 19th of September to November 13th. I am only going to be getting partial disability pay. Now, that's better than nothing, but I am going to have a short, small GoFundMe, all right? No, I'm not going to spend it on records like certain other individuals in the VC do, who I will name nameless. This is strictly to help temporarily me survive till I go back to work, knock on wood, November 13th. At least that's the day they said. They said the first 2 weeks of the rehabilitation after I'm getting a titanium knee, they say the 2 weeks after that are the worst. They're the most painful. And then after that, it slowly subsides. And that's what I'm hoping. Because, I like to walk. I really do. Now, I've lost 47 pounds. I haven't really told anybody this, but 47 pounds I've lost. Mainly due to them making me do what I got to do. But I want to go back to walking, and I want to do something I haven't done in over 15, 16 years. I'm going to pick up the golf clubs again, and I want to go play golf again. I was not a great golfer, but I wasn't a total shit golfer either. I was just kind of average, all right? But I mainly want to do it for the exercise is what I'm getting at. And I can't do 18 holes. Psyko is not going to do 18 holes. I'll do 9-hole courses. I said I'll do 9-hole. Anyways, hey, Paul, do you have any vacation time that you can use? Very little, unfortunately, and it was not because I chose to waste it or burn it off. I had other medical tests, and it was too late to do the schedules, and it's a lot of stuff. It's a big mess, Tim. I have very little vacation time, but I will be using it, but it's only going to come out to 2 or 3 days. Thank you so much kindly. It was not easy. It was not easy doing that 47. George, Tim, by the way, thanks for coming in. He's got a great show, the Snap Crackle Pop Hour. Go listen to that. George, best damn Four Seasons channel there is here. I'll tell you that right now. And now you're back to this moniker, huh? Okay. I mean, I know you were there, ladies and gentlemen. I was briefly interacting with him at Tim's Thrifty Music channel. By the way, please subscribe to Tim's Thrifty Music. He's got almost 200 subscribers. He does live streams on Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 or 12 every other Saturday. And on panel, it's been Tim Smith, and Sir James something Ono Lennon. I get that lost. Jorgen, me, other people chime in. And so Tim's Thrifty Music, please subscribe to that. Also subscribe to me, please, if you haven't done that too, please and thank you. 37 away from the golden 1,000, ladies and gentlemen, 37 away. Now, everybody going off. Oh, well, okay, hold on a minute. Weren't you under a different thing the last time you saw me? Like, it had a Beatle name, but then there was Mike Nesmith in the spacesuit. Was that you, or was this not you? Because I'm like, if it wasn't you, he made it sound like it was you. Get back in. See? Okay, everybody. All right. So, I told you I have some fines. So, This one here, very, very cool. Do you like Steely Dan? Do you like Steely Dan? I love the 70s, Dan. I love all of those albums. Seriously. Now, a lot of people probably throw them as overrated or studio perfection, but you know what? Damn it. Even if it is studio perfection, that's a hell of a body of work. Okay? I still can't get over when Gaucho, supposedly, there was a screw up in the recording of the mixing process. And there was this big, lengthy diatribe from, I think it was Don Fagen, explaining, and he was apologizing. Can you imagine this? About because of that. Well, then it must have been somebody else. That was, yeah, that's great. Yeah, it was maybe 1 to 2 streams ago. Just go take a look. I keep up my streams. I do. I have nothing to hide. Did someone say Groucho? No, that would have been funny if they called it Groucho instead of Gaucho. Then they could have done it. Could you imagine Steely Dan doing a version of Lydia the Tattooed Lady or Hello, I Must Be Going? That would be very weird. So anyways, so once again, though, only my opinion. And opinions and assholes, everyone's got one, especially this asshole. But I don't know how you feel about the 90s albums, the 2 albums that they did, Everything Must Go and what the hell's the other one? Was never a big fan of those 2 90s albums, in my opinion, even though I do think Don Fagen at least used to be a minor genius. I mean, let's face it. Okay, he fooled me on the Nightfly. I love the Nightfly. IGFY 1958. That sounds like a Steely Dan track. I thought it was a new Steely Dan single. When I heard it on the radio, I'm like, holy shit, it's Steely Dan again. I thought they broke up. No. So, yes, that's right. Well, that's true. You got a big point on that. You got a big point on that, okay? So what I'm getting at is, I found this. Now, I know you're saying, this ain't Steely Dan. This is Rosie Vela Zazu from 1986. Here's the front. Here's the back. Okay, it's kind of cute, don't you think? At least for 86. And then, unfortunately, it's a plain white sleeve, and you're looking at your. Remember this A&M label? I never cared for this label, to be honest with you. But so yes. That's right. It should have been called Zazu is the Pit. I know where you're going on that, see. I've thrown that name out. Only my mother knows who the hell that is. So that's how old my jokes get. Okay. Gary Katz, the producer of Steely Dan, produced this album. On at least 50% of this album, you've got Don Fagen and Walter Becker solo and together on this album. All right? Along with, oh God, Rick Derringer is on here on a couple tracks. And, oh geez, my memory ain't so good. But there's a couple more, Jimmy Haslip. It was in the Yellow Jackets for jazz. So you have a lot of different, Michael Ben from The Call. He's on here too on a couple tracks. So if you don't know anything about this album, explore it on YouTube, okay? I am led to believe that there was never a CD release. So this might be one of those things you might have to go album find, crate dig, or maybe it's digital. I hate digital, but whatever. First part of the question, I am 28 days away from my knee procedure. 28 days. And no, because I'll probably be using all my excess painkiller. Although I appreciate the effort. I do, Mike. That's great. You get an A. You get an A. What number is this, Paul? 670. This is my 670th video on this channel, guys. All right. I cannot remember if I showed this in my last episode, so we're going to show it now. So in a trade at the record store a week or two ago, I love Nielsen, okay? Got a couple Nielsen today, actually, also. I ended up getting this one, though. Did not have this. This is from January 1976. Sandman. Here's the front. Here's the back. You got people like Leon Russell. He is all over this. Jesse Ed Davis is also on here, too. Session guitarist extraordinaire. And on one track, on backing vocal, Joe Cocker. Yeah, because that track with Joe Cocker, the Flying Saucer song, was originally recorded during a future Jukebox from Hell episode, Pussycats, from Harry Nilsson, produced by John Lennon. So, and on this album here, you have a Beatle connection. I mean, Klaus Voormann's always been loosely connected with Nilsson, but that's not the Beatle connection here. In fact, I think Klaus does play on here too, but there's a different Beatle connection on this. The cover was photographed by Mal Evans. Mal Evans, this was one of the last things that Mal would do in late 1975. He took the picture of this. And then I don't even think this album, even though it came out in January 76, I think this didn't come out till after Mal's death, so he didn't even get a chance to see it. Now, I heard, but 2023 is almost over with, so I'm not sure if 2024 is maybe when it's coming out. You're going to have two different Mal Evans books. One of them is going to be from his diaries. They found the damn things, I think it was a couple years ago, a year or two ago, and the Evans family is involved in getting this. So, yeah, Klaus Voormann has done some good artwork. That is true. He has. How many folks know he did a full-page illustration that appeared in Mad about that? I did not know. I do like myself some Mad magazine. In fact, you reminded me, Mike, I have to text my buddy Scott and tell him that I came across a big volume. It was like it came in a slipcase and everything. And my local used place has got this. It's Best of Don Martin. But I think they want $30 for that book, and I don't know if that's worth it or not. And my buddy Scott, he's a cool dude. He's younger than me. I think he's like late 30s. He's like the brother I never had, okay? He'll send me things from time to time. And, but needless to say, so Mad, I haven't read Mad magazine. The last Mad magazine I read, which I happen to have, it was a Halloween issue. They're spoofing on the twin girls in the Omen movie. Was it the Omen movie or Shining? Where they're in the, yeah, it was Shining, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Shining. So, and they're saying something, you know, it's Mad. And Svengoolie's in there. They make fun of Svengoolie, and I'm going, So that's the only Mad I bought. Loved Don Martin in the mid-'60s. Whenever I get a new copy, Martin was always the first thing I turned to. Mad's maddest artist, that's right. So yeah, they got a big book. It's about this big. It's in a slipcase for like $29. So yes, and back to Greg. He was a great singer, I'm telling you. But like I said, hint, next season he will be in Jukebox from Hell. He has to be for Pussycats. So we'll be talking about that when that time comes, because we only have a couple episodes left. There's also going to be, okay, so you know, like I said, you had Monkeys, then you had Styx. There will be 2 more episodes left in this season of Jukebox from Hell, Season 2. I literally purchased the record that I'm using for episode 19. It's going to be a curveball. None of you people are going to see it coming. None of you. You're all going to go, what the fuck? And that's why I like doing this show. And then season 20 will end off on a late 80s album. That's your hint for that one. Season 3, I already told you Harry Nilsson will be one of the episodes. I also purchased another late 80s album from a 70s classic rock band that by the late 80s, they weren't doing anything. And that will be an episode of Season 3, Jukebox from Hell. My older sister used to buy me. I'll tell you something. I did like most kids. I read off the comic book racks. I read the Mads. I read the Cracks. I read the Creepies. I'm one of these kids that, does anybody remember Warren Publishing? That's 70s. Excuse me. I'd read the Vampirella. I'd read Spirit. I love Will Eisner's Spirit. I always will. Heavy Metal. National Lampoon. All that shit. Well, remember, Tim, the only reason why we're not doing that album is because I can't find a copy. So we're going to go with Pussycats. That's why. I would even settle for a CD, but I can't find the damn thing. Yeah, see? And here's a little thing most people didn't know, but like the last couple of years of Crack's run, for some reason they moved their offices to Rockford, Illinois. Like after I left, they moved to Rockford. And I'm like, holy shit, they're in Rockford now. But they didn't last too long. I want to say they were dead within 2 years. Oh, God, I forgot about Sick. But wasn't that gone by like the mid-70s? Because I barely remember that. John. See, now I've come across some occasional Mad paperbacks. Maybe I should get those damn things for a good chick. And they weren't expensive. I think I found them for like 50 cents or $1. That'd be some good cheap laughs. Then I just would pass it on. But that's a true story about Marty. Yeah, that's right. I do actually remember that. Help magazine. Harvey Kurtzman. Yes, another gentleman. Now, if I remember correctly, didn't Kurtzman... Well, let's bring this up a second. We have to thank EC Comics for Mad. That's what saved their ass, was Mad. Because all those other titles, no matter how awesome those horror and war... I said horror. Horror and war tales were... And they even dabbled a little in superhero, but it didn't do very well. Moon Girl, stuff like that. But when the Comics Code in 53 did what it did, 53 obviously was such a, I wasn't born yet, but I've read enough. Communism, lots of blacklisting, lots of bullshit. Everybody but yeah, and it's like, thank God Mad Magazine showed up at the tail end of EC's run. I think it was, a year or two they were on EC in the comic book form before they flipped over to the big thing. But yeah, so I want, and Mike or anybody else, can anybody help me out here? Because I could have sworn that, what was his name? Wilburwood? Who did EC covers and such. I mean, he did some Mad stuff, didn't he? Before Sergio or Jonas was the man. You got me on that one. I don't really know who that is. I have a hardcover book all about EC. See, that is badass. I would love to have something like that. I would love to have, if I ever could find them, reprints. Okay, they don't need to be in high quality. I know somebody in the 90s, I think it was the late 90s, early O's, started reprinting those EC issues, and I was getting I found like 2 or 3 in the flea markets over the years, but that's all I ever found. So the run couldn't have lasted very long. 3 years almost what? I'm an idiot. With Wood? Yeah, Wilburwood, thank you. What did I say? I don't know. I'm just out of it. Yep, Jack Davis I've heard of. Will Elder I've heard of. Severin sounds familiar too. Oh, so, okay, thank you. Oh, Wallace Wood. We knew it started with a W, but yeah, I mean, what a tragic way Wallace went. He killed himself because his eyesight went so bad, right? I think Frazetta went the same way too, if I remember correctly, right? I could be wrong on that too. Yeah, oh boy. Yeah, 3 years. Okay, thank you. That's right. You're right about that. The soon-to-be moving Chicago Lights. Oh my God! Can you believe that fucking story with the whole moving of the damn? They're just doing that to try to get a big stadium. Here's the problem. I mean, I'm really not knocking the White Sox here, but I'm knocking that, really, the White Sox. I mean, they had some hell of a teams. I still remember 83 winning ugly. You know, I really thought they were going to get it then. I did. Yeah, you know, I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I'm going to tell you something truthfully, okay? I stopped being a White Sox fan after the World Series they won. When the hell was that? 2006, 2007? I'm probably way off base. And I was just like, their attitude really pissed me off. It must have been 2007 because I flipped for as far as for American League, because I live close to, well, not close to KC, I'm about 3 hours away, but that's when I turned into a Royals fan for 19. Look now, they did win the 8 men out. Listen, I still think Shoeless Joe was the least guilty of them all, okay? Oh, that's the case. See, I didn't know that. I really didn't know that they brought La Russa back. That's just weird. And I don't think they should have done it. Yes, but I love that movie. And yes, I think Shoeless Joe did not deserve the punishment he got. All the rest of them do. But, so the White Sox. So I met a few of the White Sox players. I did over the years. What the hell? I'm trying to think. Well, God, why is none of them coming to my mind? Let's see. Jerry Hairston, Steve Lyon. I met them at try to think. Jimmy Pearsall? Was he one? Like announcer, right? Jimmy Pearsall? Met Jimmy Pearsall. Harry Carey, of course, you know, when he was at the Sox. Jack Brickhouse, of course, Cubs and Sox. I always wanted to meet Minnie Minoso. I missed him by that much several times. Pissed me off. Seriously. Oh, so they finally did it, huh? I heard that, what was it, Kenny Williams and somebody else was getting... Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly... Oh, boy. Bo! You know, the last White Sox... I only went to a couple White Sox games, okay, at Comiskey. I went to 2 at Comiskey and the Crosstown Classic, which came to Wrigley. And the Sox Twins, that unfortunately rained out. But guess what? A bunch of the Twins players decided to slide along that tarp, and I got to say a quick hey to Kirby Puckett, seriously. And if I remember correctly, Kirby Puckett was not around much longer after that as far as for a player. So I'm glad I got to say hello, settle for a Minnie Minoso. Oh, you know what? For some reason, I used to call him Kitty Skittle. I think somebody on the radio did that. I'm like, look, it's Kitty Skittle. Ron Kittle. See, you're bringing bad shit that I didn't expect. Milt May? That might have been another one I met. I did meet some 70s and 80s people, okay? And early 90s. There was more Cubs players that came to, like, stores and stuff than White Sox. But I did get to meet 2 or 3 that way. The crowds were never big for them. They weren't. Steve Lyons came to a paint store. I think it was a Sherman-Williams. Do you know, I always, when I used to do this all the time, I would go an hour to 2 early before the appearance. Do you know how many people were in line for Steve Lyons besides me? That's it. That was all there was for Steve. Poor Steve Lyons. Almost 25 years ago, I went to a Red Sox season closer, sat next to 2 Twins fans. We all had a great time. Greg Luzinski. Shit, you're bringing up stuff. Oh man, you're bringing it all up. Of course, Ozzie Guillen. I got to get Ozzie's autograph. He was the only one on the Crosstown Classic game. That was the game that Michael Jordan, the only time he was in an official Major League Baseball game, because he came from the Birmingham Barons minor league. And God, what a press fuckery that was. Seriously. But yeah, out of the whole White Sox team, Ozzie was the only one to sign autographs that day for the White Sox. So I will give him points for that. But other than that, the rest of the team could go fuck themselves at that time. I almost forgot about that. I did. I almost forgot about that. Paul, your opinion, don't you think that when these old timers sign autographs that there should be some fee? Yeah, okay. Now, all right, so I went to a lot of sports signings. I did. I went to a lot of baseball card, shows in Northwest Illinois. And I want to say that the greed started setting in the mid to late 80s, as far as for the autograph fees starting to go up. Only a handful of shows probably were starting to do ridiculous prices, but I'm going to tell you, by 90, it was like rampant. And, so the place that I went to, there was a mall we had in Crystal Lake, Illinois, called the Crystal Point Mall. It ain't there anymore. It's been dead for years, gone. But the promoters of the card show cared, They had free guests, so they signed a autograph or two autographs for free. They didn't care. Some were no more than $5, all right? And sometimes they went to charity. Like I got one of Jack Brickhouse's last autographs, and the $5 went to, I can't remember what the damn charity was, but it was worth it. And I have that picture. He signed it in gold Sharpie. It was just like a mimeograph picture of Brickhouse, but it was still cool. Oh boy. Okay, so, oh God, do I have a Bill Buckner story? I'm sorry, I know. We talked about it. I will get to the music fine, so I appreciate you guys hanging here. But I'll leave one more story, and then I'll show some of these, okay? So I talked to Bill Buckner at a baseball card con in Elgin, Illinois. So that day was Dennis Eckersley, Bill Buckner, and Don Kessinger? I say Don Kessinger. So, 69 Cub. And Kessinger and I, 10 minutes, seriously. He blew my mind with some of the stories he had. Some of them really can't be told here. Some of them were basic. But, so me and Kessinger, yep. Eckersley, barely could get 2 or 3 words out of him. I don't want to say he was a jerk, but he was leaning towards jerky behavior. Buckner, I went and got him to sign a Cub card and, somebody in the PA gallery. What was Buckner's last team? I want to say, was it Royals? Did he land as a Royal at the end? Somebody tell me in the comments. But, so, oh boy, who fought it? Yeah, I know. Yeah. So here's what I was getting at with Buckner. Okay. So I asked him. I did. This was like a January, February card show. I remember that because the season didn't even start yet. Spring training didn't even start yet. And I said he had 25. He was close to 2,500 hits, if I remember right. And I said to him, I go, Mr. Buckner, can I ask you a question? And he's like, well, of course. And I think he probably thought I was going to bring up the ball between the legs. No, I didn't do that. Because that's cliche. I said, sir, I'm like, are you going to get to play this year so at least you can get your 2,500th hit? And do you know that he looked dejected at me a little bit. I could tell. I didn't mean to go up. I wanted him to get the 2,500th hit. You see what I'm saying? So I was hoping he was going to get another season. And Buckner quietly said to me, he goes, I don't think I'm coming back. I don't think they want me. And I apologized. And he said, it's okay. He did. And we shook hands, and that was the end of it. And then I left. Yeah, even back then he was. I heard he was a little saucy to some people in the show. Okay, Red Sox? Then that must have been the card I got him to sign then. Yeah, he's got a good humor. He does. He had to. No shit. I did not know that. Is he gone too? I didn't know that. I liked Buckner. I'll tell you one Cub that was a little bit rude. He was a Cub hopeful for us. We really thought that and if I remember correctly, I can't remember who the hell he got traded to. Dave Kingman in the late 70s. He was our powerhouse. Well, he was. Remember when he hit over Wayland? All right. So, Goodwill finds. Now, I did find some DVD stuff. I'm not bringing them to bore you guys. But I ended up finding very clean, nice, minty Doctor Who box sets. Seasons 9 through 11 of the new stuff. I wish it was the older stuff. But what I'm going to do with these is I'll probably either give them to a family member or I might flip them. That's right, King Kong. That was his nickname. I can't remember if I met Kingman once. I want to say I think he was kind of being an ass too. Oh God, Kirk Gibson's Homer. I have a Kirk Gibson story. So Cubs Dodgers late 80s. I want to say 87, 88. Okay. Mike Morgan was Mike Morgan still pitching with them? I used to always get at least, I'd get scorecards, and I would get at least some Cub autographs and whoever the opposing players were. Because carrying around baseballs and carrying around baseball cards is a pain in the ass, because then you got to try to hurry up, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not that good. I'm just not. So Tommy Lasorda was still managing the team, and Tommy Lasorda, of course, had, the Nutrisystem commercials at that time, and he looked great. And I said, because I was really close, I was maybe about 10 feet away, I go, you're looking great, Tommy. And he goes, thanks, kid. And he went like that to me. Kirk Gibson comes out from the dugout steps. He actually starts signing a couple autographs. I'm like, holy shit, I would love to get Kirk Gibson's. So I'm moving a little along in line, and I'm about 2 or 3 people away from getting his autograph. Seriously. Some jackass threw, those little mini notepads, that you can get in the store? Somebody chucked a mini notepad, and it hit him right in the Dodgers' middle of the logo and went to the ground. Oh, God. You would have thought there would have been nuclear war coming. He picked up that small notepad and chucked it back in the direction that it came from. And he said a swear word and went down the steps. And that was the end. And we turned around at whoever it was and we're like, thanks a lot, fucktard. You didn't need to do that to him. Took me a while, but I now appreciate the newer Doctor Who as well as the classic Doctor shows. I'm always going to be a classic guy. I'll watch new episodes, don't get me wrong, but I'm always going to be my favorites, of course, when I was growing up, John Pertwee, which was before me, but my favorites are John Pertwee, Tom Baker, Peter Davidson, because that was what I remember watching when I was younger. Met Lou Piniella once 30 years ago, quite by accident. I bet you that was quite interesting. Yeah, oh, is that right? Okay. You see, you know, I used to have tons of baseball cards. I still have a handful. Yeah, he was not one to fuck with. I will tell you that now. It's okay. I brought up Doctor Who, remember? I'm the one that brought it up because I bought a bunch at Goodwill. $2.99. Goodwill prices went jacked up. It was maybe it was $2.49. It was $2.49 for the DVDs. I'm sorry, because the albums I have are $2.99, and of course I didn't hit the damn color. When you're going into a Goodwill, you'd like to hit the color once in a while. You know what I'm saying? I never fucking hit the color. We know you're kidding. So I found these albums. And not bad shape either. And for $2.99, stop. Don't want you to leave. Now, I don't have any Partridge Family stuff, though. See, I'm just teasing with you, Tim, but I don't want you to go. I don't want anybody to go. Anyways, although somebody just left. I hope it wasn't Tim. Hope it wasn't Tim. That's all I'm saying. All right. Leon Live. Yes. What a hell of an album. Look at him. Look how stoned he looks. but you know, you've got this. And I'll admit the cover, like the spine, I have to be careful. But yeah, like you've got to tear that much on the bottom here. But the vinyl's great looking. $2.99. Could not pass that up. You're right. He always looked stoned. And that is a good one, damn it. I got a bunch of signed. Who knows? Who knows? Yes. Yeah, well, like I said, I've got maybe about 5 or 6 signed Leon Russells, and I'm always going to have those. I think I gave one to my friend Kathy, and I may end up giving one more to my friend Donald Joe Cat Lady, just because, you know, Leon is an awesome dude. I'm guilty. I have not heard the Union yet. I have the CD. I just haven't listened to it yet. And I need to go get that Leon book back because I still had 200 pages to read. I had to give it back to the library. All right. So we showed Leon, right? Right. I found another copy of this. I told you I had some Nielsen. Yes. And this one's in nice shape. This is a lot better shape than Leon. Okay. But so the only thing is the Dynaflex. I have no signed LPs, and I'm okay with that. The only thing I have, although autographs and books are fine, by the way. Talk Shop Live is going to have a few new things. Rick Springfield's one of them. Shit, I can't remember who else right now. There's going to be some more, though. And then another one, which I'm not going to bring over here because the box, because it came in the box is broken, all right? But all the LPs look great. For $2.99, I grabbed the triple album George Harrison Bangladesh concert. Okay, so I'm glad I got that too. Yeah, see, that's funny. Just like I said, we talk about so the Bangladesh, we've got that, and well, it depends on what you're talking about on the RCA catalog. Leaves this program because that Manoff guy was such a jerk to Tim Allen. If that's the kind of guy that frequents this channel, I won't. Well, Linda, I don't know. I just simply go off and have all kinds of people here because that's me. By the way, hi, Linda. I've never seen you before, but welcome nevertheless, okay? Do you have half-price books in your area? No, and I wish I did have a damn half-price books. I guess they're in Oklahoma, but Oklahoma City might be the closest, and that's a long-ass one, and I think there's some in Texas. I got a Barnes & Noble in the next town over. Oh, excuse me. What am I talking about? It's across town from me. I'm not, you know what, guys? I'm sorry. Okay, all these medical tests, my mental is worse than normal. As you guys can tell, I've been like this for a couple of years since I've got the COVID brain for 2 years now this month. And it's not going to get any better. It's just not. Yes, you're damn right. He kicked ass on Mad Dog and Englishman. I need to see that movie, by the way. I have never seen that movie. And I would like to. All right. So anyways, found the Bangladesh, the box. And you know how that box for the Bangladesh was not made as good as the All Things Must Pass box set, which seemed to hold up a little better. There's very few times have I ever seen in the wild the Bangladesh box not be crushed, at least in 2 of the 4 corners. But then I found this, which I have never come across. Any Pacific Gas and Electric. Glenn Schwartz and Company. Never found this. I also look at the back. Look at that. Gee. I wonder where they took their inspiration from. But this, of course, being the cutout. It's the front cover was drawn by Willardson, whoever that is. But you got yourself a 2-eye stereo here that actually is really decent. It really, really is. And let's see here. Yeah, like I said, Glenn Schwartz on here. Rusty Young from Poco does steel guitar. The Blackberries, which of course they were an excellent ladies gospel singing group and regular singing group. They sing on here too. It says cover illustrations, David Willardson. So maybe David Willardson did this. I don't know. Yes, great song. Great song. So those were the vinyl finds. See, and John, mine's in decent shape also. I'm a bad boy. I probably should put it in a sleeve, but when you got box sets like that, a regular sleeve isn't going to cut it. I'm going to probably need a thicker sleeve somehow. Yeah, so. All right, so I ended up finding some things at an antique mall that are in this bag. And I know you're saying to yourself, what the hell? Some of this stuff put me right back to my childhood. Some of this stuff I never saw before in my life. And I got them all 50% off and in decent price. I didn't spend more than $1.75. Most of it was $1.50 each item. So let's go to... Now, I don't really like the way he packaged them. This kind of pissed me off. He put them in baggies and then stapled them. And I'm like, baby. To me, it looked like the head looks like Captain America. And then you've got, yeah, maybe. I never thought of that. So I got kind of excited. Yeah. And, oh, wow, what the hell? Oh, guys, wait a minute. This just ended up being an added bonus for me. Hang on a second. I want to check the other one. Because I found 2 different ones. Wow. This first one that I found is still sealed. I cannot believe it. Ah, shit. The second one is still sealed. Damn it. Well, I feel a little bit depressed. I was a winner on the first one. The second one is still sealed, but unfortunately, I looked at the front instead of the back of it, and now I'm a little bit upset at myself. Thank God I only spent, what'd I say, $1.50 each? So, I got Beatles albums. You want to see Beatles albums? Beatles albums for Barbie, Ken, and G.I. Joe, and your Mego collection. Batcave record players sold separately. But seriously, anybody remember what these are? First person that guesses correctly gets a Psycho platter, no prize. Remember when Marvel used to do that shit? What are these? There was 9 series of them, not just Beatles, mind you. 9. Anybody can? Nope, it's not a magnet. It is not a magnet, honey. I shrunk the fabs. That'd be funny. Magnets? No, very not. Thank you. Cool. Yeah. What is it? Okay. So no. So I'm really pissed off. I'm mad at myself. This will teach me. I got for cheap in the wild was lucky the old Bangladesh. That is a bargain. So from 1980 to 83. No. You're getting there. You are still getting there, George. Yes, I like that. Yeah, you can have the Fab Four. Fuck you. The Fab Four-ish. Oh, that's good. Okay. George was the closest. So, ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing here, which I think is 2x2, by the way, is what's called a chew bop. And I know you're like, what the fuck is a chew? So, if you were a kid from 80 to 83, nope, but they were collectible, so bear with me. 80 to 83, there was a company out of Naperville, Illinois. Go figure. I didn't even know until I started doing research that they were from Naperville. All right? So they would take popular albums from artists of that year and make them like this. Now, this is still sealed, but like I said, I'm very pissed off at myself. This is Stained. No, not Stained the band, because this is, yeah, we won't go there. So unfortunately, this damn thing's got a stain, but the other one doesn't that I'm going to show you. So chew bops, like for example, you can't see it very well, but they always used to do lyrics to the most popular song of whatever was on the album. As you can also see, it says number B5 of 16. That is because they did 16 different Beatle albums, and that was series number 7, I think, because they had 9 series total. 1980 to 83 was chew bops, and what was inside this thing when you opened it was a bubblegum record. It was a bubblegum record with grooves and everything and a center hole, because I used to chew that gum. I did. I had a shit ton of these things, and at least back in 1980, they sold for 29 cents. All right, I don't know what that is in 2023 money, but so from 80 to 83, they made 9 series. They made an Elvis series, was one series. Beatles were another series. And then they made a Rolling Stones series. That one was made, I think, in 82. And then in early 83, they made one last series 9 and then shut down. But like Kisses the Elder was on there. Billy Joel's Glass Houses. I think there was a Foghat Eye, Tight Shoes. All of these were in the grooviest gum in the land. So I've got this. Shit, this one's got stained on the back too. And I got me Sgt. Pepper, still sealed, even though as you can see it's a little warped. Just like my brain. I don't care, these are fun. I never thought I would see these again, to be honest with you, okay? Chew Bops. Go look it up. It's an interesting story. I'm still pissed at myself. I can't believe those fuckers were in the... All right. Then I found a interesting... Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, he does dig shrimp, that is for sure. You don't have to be warped to work here, but it sure helps. So then I found a promo pin. I'm guessing from 1975. Never seen this before. This was $1.50 also. Shaved fish, collectible Lennon. Yeah, collectible Lennon 1975 promo pin. I think that's cool. Well, thank you, seriously. It does make me happy, but I do have to tell you something, okay? I tried. Those were not the only two. When I found out that there were 16 of them, I can tell you for a fact I at least found 10 of those. 10 different Beetle ones, and all the rest had front stakes. That's why I didn't get it. I was, so that figures. No wonder why this guy, and he had shit tons of wrestling cards, by the way, too. Not old ones, though, and no autographed ones. Mayo eats the shrink after you mess it. Maybe. Yeah, thank you. So here's the next cool item. Now, I don't know what to think about this, to really be honest with you. Now, I'm assuming this is an 80s remake of a 60s. Okay? And I'll try to figure it out, but what's neat is the way the back looks. This is a keychain. I love it. I'm not using it either because this is not plastic. This is rubber. But look at the back. Look at the way that is. Now, here's the thing. They had similar art in your mid-60s promotional items. But, as you could see, I highly doubt that they had that kind of a key ring in the 60s. That's why I think that this is a nice mid-80s repro. And you know what? For $1.50, I will gladly get this. Here I come. Now, the only way I would ever use this is if I ever got a 1967 Monkey Mobile GTO. Wouldn't that be funny? I'd like that. I would have a goat. That was it. I don't have anything else to show right now. But, reasonable prices, I think. Oh, shit, I already dropped it already. But, good thing it's rubber. So, listen, guys. Thank you. How are you guys doing out there? I know I talk a lot about myself, and that's not fair to some of you. Because, the world doesn't revolve around this jackass. It doesn't. You guys doing all right out there? The Psyko scooter. With a place to put my bullhorn. Oh, no. Who saw me in Rachel's stream for the few minutes I was there today? What I did. I know. I love that GTO. There's a handful of monkey collectors that have all 4 monkeys autographs on their dash. They got them to sign it. Excuse me, I'm going to get some more coffee. I wish I had some incidental music for you. Oh, God. It doesn't get any better, kids. It doesn't. Oh, my knees. I wonder if this is how male porn stars feel like when they get to be their 50s. Well, let's see. Ron Jeremy's in jail. John Holmes is dead after doing the one gay porno he decided to do that he shouldn't have done. That's what did him in, guys. But he was a scumbucket anyway, John Holmes. I think we can all agree upon that. And Peter North, my lord. Oh, that guy went everywhere. Hats off to him, buddy. Hats off to him. You're too kind. You're too kind. George, did you get done through that box set? Are you still working on it? I don't blame you. I'd savor it. I would savor every minute of that box set. I was very sick last. No, I'm still on the week that I bought some. Well, yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, well, I could see that too. I could. Man, oh man, what was I gonna tell you guys? I'm not going to the Comic-Con in Little Rock because there was last minute cancellations. Paul Williams will not be there now. That was half the reason why I wanted to go to Comic-Con, because I wanted to talk to him. I had 2 of his albums, so Paul's not coming. And then there was a couple wrestlers. The Steiner brothers were going to be there. Scott and Matt and Dogface Gremlin Rick. Dogface isn't going to be there now. I don't know why. Rick's not going to be there either now. And so they instead got a quick replacement with Ron Simmons, who I like Ron Simmons, but I'm like, the Steiner brothers would have been the reason, why I would have wanted to go to the con. Would I have wanted a Frankensteiner from them? No, sir. Would I want a Steiner recliner from them? Once again, no, sir. I'm an idiot. Who was? Oh, John Holmes. Yeah, John Holmes was a lowlife. And I'll tell you, if you've never seen the movie Wonderland, I behoove you people to see Wonderland. That is a great movie, seriously. But boy, oh boy, is it dark. And somebody that almost was a victim that night, Chuck Negron from Three Dog Night, this close. If he wasn't dope sick on that couch and passed out, he would have been at Wonderland, and chances are he would have been killed. I just got a new book. Oh, good. Good. You can never have enough Peter Sellers biographies. There's another one for you, okay? He died in, 80, 81? After being there, which I finally saw that movie years and years later, and I didn't get it at first, okay? And a lot of people didn't either and went to proclaim it was a dud. But I looked at the backstory behind that, okay? And Being There was one of Peter's favorite books. He insisted, he wanted to make a movie on that novel. That's why he was pushing for it. So, oh my buddy just bought, he says he pulled the trigger tonight on, thank God it's Friday. Last dance, last chance for love. God, I'm stupid. Anyways, July of 80. Okay, thank you. 6 weeks before he was going to be 55, he's exactly 3 days younger than my mom. And if I remember correctly, was he not one of those ones that was into New Age? He believed that he thought the crystals were going to heal him from his ail. And I'm like, buddy, you should have just went to a damn doctor before it was too late. But, that Peter Sellers movie, which I'm sorry, I can't remember what it's called. Funny man. But God, he sounded like a jackass in real life. Like he was a prick. Okay, I don't know how true that is. I'll always love the Clouseau stuff. Your dog bit me. You said it wouldn't bite. That's not my dog. That and the fights with Kato. Oh my God, that was some of the favorite shit when he would do in the Pink Panther stuff. But And then, of course, he was in Goon Show for all the UK people over there. I found a Goon Show radio tape, and I was going to gift it to Paul McCartney. True story. Well, yeah, no kidding. Didn't he like do a lot of what is it, amyl nitrate? The poppers. He did a lot of poppers, didn't he? Yeah, yeah. What was the title of it? Does anybody remember the title of that Peter Sellers movie? Because I mean, the guy that did Peter Sellers was like, well, yeah, I know he did more than Panther. It's just the point is for me, this kid, seeing Brand New, I got to see some of those Pink Panther movies brand new when he was alive. And like I said, I did see Being There. I don't think I saw it brand new, though. I want to say I saw it on HBO like a couple of years later. Thank you. The Life and Death of Peter Sellers. That's it. But Peter Sellers, of course, was a friend of the Beatles, and especially Ringo. And it's been many years since I've seen Magic Christian, which I need to watch that again because my memory's so short. But I'd like to just to even see the end credit of where the peasants are digging in the shit and you hear, if you want it, there it is, come and get it. And I'm just like, what a scene. What a scene. You know, I think I read that book, to be honest with you. Currently, right now, what's in my reading queue until I can go get the Leon book, which I should probably be getting this weekend again. Yeah, Strange Glove. Oh my God, what a fucking great but strange ass movie. Slim Pickens on that bomb. I was like, I can't. All right, listen, you take care. I'm going to be wrapping this up in a few minutes myself, Greg. Thank you. But yeah, so it's like there will. Oh, okay. Was it? All right. I told you my memory's not that good, but that's what I remember though was that scene, and I'm just like. And you want? I'll tell you where I saw that too. By the way, this is how long ago this was. It was like a Sunday afternoon movie on Channel 44 in Chicago. Well, Channel 44 flipped to on TV like by 1981, so I had to have seen this before 81. There was also the same channel. I saw Magical Mystery Tour. That was the first time I saw it. Was on Channel 44 in Chicago, and I loved it. It was goofy, but I loved it. For a kid of couldn't have been any more than 14. Well, wasn't alone. Yeah, see, there you go. Yum. And jizz probably too, but gross. See, come and get it. Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. Not sponsored by Waffle House. But so yes, I got to get that Leon book and finish. But what I'm reading right now is Bohemian Rhapsody, which is the life, death, and legacy of Freddie Mercury. And it's a good book. It really is a good book, guys. There's a deep dive and stuff, and even going back to the Smile days, if you remember that trio, which was Brian May, Roger Taylor, and Tim Staffno. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. And they had that one-off single on Mercury, which tanked. I wonder if anybody's got that. I'm led to believe that, at least in the U.S., they only made about 1,000 copies of that genuine single. So whoever the hell's got a copy of that has got some real good stuff. The original ending of Strange Glove was supposed to be a pie fight, but the producers cut it to, well, yeah. Yes. The Music, Mob, and Me. And you know what? I need to get that book again. I gifted it to somebody, but I'm like, there's some books I like to reread. I know that sounds really weird maybe to some of you people, but like if I'm running low in the book queue right now, because after I get done, because I read the Elton book, Me, and I gave that to Donna Joe Cat Lady. So I got Freddie Mercury. I'm only like about a quarter of the way in of that. Then I had Carly Simon. I got one of her books, and then but maybe I'll get, like I said, I'll get Leon's book by the weekend here, so I can finish the 200 pages because I only got to 1975. Great read, though. Like I said, get that Leon Russell book. You will not be sorry. You will not. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes. 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 I'm telling you, it also shined a light on that one of the big jackasses of music, Morris Levy. God, what a slime ball. I mean, seriously. I want to get that Al Cooper book. I've heard about that book. Yes, yes. I have yet to read it. I heard it's really good. I like Al Cooper. God, Al Cooper is like a very talented. I mean, hell, like wasn't one of didn't he like start out sessioning in like 63, 64? So I mean, he was there for Dylan. He was there. He was one of the original Blood, Sweat, and Tears. You know, he had his own solo thing. He had super sessions with Steve Stills and oh my God, I'm tired. Steve Stills, Al Cooper, Mike Bloomfield. So you had that, all right, and then he found Skynyrd and was involved in the first two records for Skynyrd. I mean, and then Cooper also helped with the Tubes. The first record, if I remember correctly. So, I mean, the guy obviously has got talent, and he also knew how to pick them. Because I love Skynyrd, and I love the Tubes, and I love Blood, Sweat, and Tears. That first album is very different from anything else that was going to come past that when you get your David Clinton Thomas era. Next time you watch Strange Glove, watch Peter Bull near the end of the film. He keeps cracking up. It's oh God. Yeah, Strawberries. Thank you. I knew he owned a record chain because there was a lot of fruit label chains. We had Orange's records in Chicagoland, and I know there was Peaches. Okay, but I don't know if I'm gonna. That's right, Royal Teens. He was a member of the damn Royal Teens. Yeah, short. We wear short shorts. Yeah. I don't know if I still have it in my collection, but I found a half-speed master of The Child is the Father, Child to the Father to the Man. I had that. Yes, and I'll have to pull them sometime. I have the first two albums on the Sounds of the South label. Yes, OG presses. Okay. You know, as far as for show ticks were concerned, let's see. When I went to concerts in the 80s, there was not anybody in my town that sold concert tickets. I had to go to the mall that was about 30 minutes away, 30-minute drive, to a Sears. They were a Ticketron. Remember Ticketron? You people in the Central States? And Sears was a Ticketron outlet before they were Ticketmaster, and then you would buy your tickets through Ticketron. And that's how I would get my Cubs games sometimes and a bunch of other stuff. And then finally, I think it was in 91, we had a Rose Records that came to Crystal Lake, Illinois. And so then the Deadheads had an excuse to sleep overnight in the strip mall. Because they did. Because I'm like, I knew when the Dead were coming to town, or they would get tired because they'd see the line. But whatever. I don't know. Got tons of concert tickets to Strawberries, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Almonds, Macca, Stones, Bowie. Excellent bunches right there. Yeah, he left. Like 17 to 20 bucks back when concert tickets were decently priced. We can't say that now. Oh well. Man, oh man. So yeah. So tomorrow, go check. I'm going to try to get there first thing in the morning. They do walk-in doc appointments between 8 and 10:30. So I want to get there by 8 so I can take a look at, see if they can figure this thing out. You know, if it's a kidney infection or not, I don't know. And then, yeah, sew buttons, yeah. And then maybe this weekend, hopefully, maybe I can go, I don't know. There isn't any interesting concerts coming this weekend like there was last week. Oh, by the way, I didn't get to see Billy Corgan. I tried. I went to the place I told you about that he bought vinyl like a year or two ago. I stuck around for an hour, but he didn't show up. Boo. Oh, well. Okay, listen. You take care, and I'll be back on again soon. Yeah, right? We didn't really do too much tailgating. I mean, I would get there early at Alpine Valley sometimes, but I don't recall really doing too much of a tailgate. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the fucking Eagles and the Stones ruined it for the rest of us people, the rest of us peasants. The Eagles and the Stones, they had to fucking ruin it. Yeah, I blame those two. They were the two that instigated it personally, I think. But, but look where the Eagles are at now. Shambles. And the Stones, we might get a new, I don't know. I don't even know if the album's going to be out this year. Yeah, everybody shut up about that now. So I'm not going to hold my breath. Maybe it'll be a spring 24 thing. I don't know. It'll be nice whenever the hell it gets there. I did see that AC/DC is going to play a gig in California, the Power Trip Festival, in October, if I remember correctly. So that'll be nice. They'll maybe go back one last time and do a show. And that'll actually be pretty perfect because AC/DC would be 50 years. 50 years, That's fine. But the only one that was there for all of it was Angus. All 50 years, you got Angus. And, and I mean, what, then what? Then what, let's see. Well, yeah, Cliff mostly, I think, would have the next batch of tenure, barely. And then Brian Johnson, and then Phil Rudd, because remember, he was gone for a while. So, I mean, they'll put on a kick-ass show because that's AC/DC for you. I never got to see him. I would have loved to have seen him at least once. I definitely would have loved to have seen the Bon Scott era. That's where I would have rather have wanted. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Now, eventually, they may end up in a Jukebox from Hell episode because I can't decide yet which 80s album, there's your hint, that I'm going to spotlight. Because one kind of shades over the other in regards to, and I didn't like this particular album, and I need to go back and re-listen it. I'm not sure if I have it in my collection. Oh, I'm sorry, were you talking you saw Stones 3 times in the 80s or AC/DC? Maybe I confused myself. Well, yeah, it is going to be dirty work for the Stones. That'll probably be a season 3 episode. We'll talk about that. But, but it does go to show you, though, that, most bands do have a dud album. I mean, it happens. But, I mean, let's face it. So, the Beatles, which of course are in such hierarchy, did the Beatles have a dud album? Did they? I don't think so. The closest, if you want to call it a dud, would be Yellow Submarine soundtrack, because you only had 4 new songs. But, I mean, Hey Bulldog, It's All Too Much. I love that stuff. I could live without Altogether now. I can't remember the other fucking song. But, but it was only 4 new songs. And then they slapped old Beatles stuff, and then you had orchestral stuff. I'm like, to me, that Yellow Submarine's the weakest. You want to call it the weakest Beatles album? That's the weakest Beatles album. That's a fact to me, in my opinion, bar none. Yeah, I mean, let's face it, as far as for the Stones are concerned, like I said, Dirty Work is that's their big flub up, in my opinion. I love the 60s stuff. I love the 70s stuff. I think maybe the one that I'm not a big fan of is It's Only Rock and Roll. I like a couple songs off that, and I know it's like the last of the Mick Taylor era, and I love Mick Taylor, but it's like that one isn't as weak as Dirty Work, but I'm just saying that I think that one, I didn't care for that one as much. Maybe another one I could tell you would be Emotional Rescue. I do like some of the things on Emotional Rescue, but I'd say probably half the album I am not a fan of. I love Some Girls. I think Some Girls is great. Tattoo You is great. If you don't have that double CD, the expanded, get it. I did review about it many, many moons ago here on this channel. You will not be sorry if you get that double disc for Tattoo You. I need to get the expanded editions for Goat's Head. I need to get expanded edition for Sticky Fingers, and I need expanded for Exile. I want all that stuff. Eventually, maybe I'll find it. And I love the Beatles, but nothing compares to Aftermath. Yeah. I would say if you want a big run, like a couldn't go wrong run, would be Beggar's Banquet all the way through to Goat's Head Soup, in my opinion, was a great run. Tattoo You was where I did get off the Stones wagon, because I remember I remember seeing on MTV, remember when they used to do video premieres the first day, whatever they put them out, and I saw Undercover of the Night, and I'm going, what the hell? And I'm like, I didn't like it. I did not like it at first. It took many repeated listenings for me to tolerate it. Did I buy the album when it came out? Yeah, because I was hoping there was better material. If I remember correctly, She Was Hot was on there, which was okay, you know, but Undercover is not one of my favorite Stones albums, just like Dirty Work isn't either. Steel Wheels, on the other hand, you finally get the wheels back on the bus. It's just too bad that that was pretty much the end of the Bill Wyman era as well, and I mean, except for the 2 new songs on Flashpoint, you're not going to see Bill again, except in the occasional live gig. But I also thought I heard, and I'm not sure how true this is, that Bill is on at least one song on that new Stones album. So they might have brought him back for a track, and that's going to be cool if you get him back for at least a track. I always like She's So Cold. I never liked Emotional Rescue. I am your knight in shining armor. Yeah, whatever. I'll have to listen down in the hole. I can't remember if I remember that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, I bought it brand new, and I was like disappointed. And I think, so yes, Tattoo You should have been when I jumped off the Stones train, but I think I bought that Undercover. I don't remember if I bought that brand new or it was like a couple weeks later, but I was just like, and that was, I would have to hear stuff in advance before I would pull money. And when Steel Wheels came out, that was a hell of a record. I mean, it just was. But yeah. So that was a great record. So, you know, I think the Stones probably, you know, I liked Bigger Bang. I liked Bigger Bang. I did. I thought that was a pretty damn good record, honestly. There's like maybe only 2 songs on that album I did not like from '05. And I liked the rest of it. I was just like, wow, okay. And I even remember saying to a friend of mine, I said, this is almost, you know, I mean, it took him 24 fucking years since Tattoo You to come up with an almost really great album. Seriously. I know Neocon was one I hated out there. Yeah, but there was nothing wrong with that, and I love it. I think, they did go back and do some overdubs and working on some of it, so it is old, but in a way, it had a contemporary feel to it. I know. I've been on for an hour and a half now, and I'm down to 4 of you guys. I'm assuming there must be a bunch of... Yeah, Voodoo Lounge was good, too. Yes. I've got that, I think, on vinyl somewhere in my collection. Somewhere. I know I have Bridges to Babylon, but I think I sold that. That was an original press, too. But yeah, so I never got to see the Stones live either. That's depressing. But, I don't really know if I want to now. I mean, it's the Mick and Keith show. That's what it is. And Ronnie, the newest member. You see what I did there? All right. But I don't know who else is out and about there. Bridget. Oops. Sorry about that. Pressed the wrong button. Anyways. So yeah, Bridges was Sheryl Crow, and the question is though, did she make the audience happy? Did she do what makes you happy? See what I did there? All I wanna do is have some fun. Yeah, I know. That's all anybody ever really plays is, what is it, Tuesday Night Music Club? Is that what the hell it's called? Yeah, I remember when that was all over the fucking radio. If it wasn't Sheryl Crow, it was Tracy Chapman. If it wasn't Tracy Chapman, it was Edie Brickell. If it wasn't Edie Brickell... See what I'm doing? I threw all those out there. I still think Dylan should have done Fast Car. Not the country guy. Who's the country singer that went and did Fast Car? Because I'd go back in time and punch him in the throat. Because he shouldn't have done that. But can you imagine? Oh boy, here we go. You got a fast car. Every day away, you're gonna turn it. My name is Luca. I live on the second floor. I'm horrible. I'm just fucking horrible. Yeah, John, remember when they did a mini set on a ramp in the crowd? Those ramps can be fun. I miss the mini stage when Paul from Stanley from Kiff would come out and he would do like 3 songs. I was like the mini stage was literally 2 rows behind me. So that's about as close as I was going. The row ahead of me could touch his leg if he wanted to. I didn't want to touch his leg. Lord knows where that leg's been. Anyways, on that note, guys, you know what? I'm very happy to have all of you guys. I really, really am. I thank you for spending any form of time. Tim Allen, if you come back here, I'm sorry. This is how this show is. We have lots of people, flux and influx. I don't want anybody leaving on anybody's account. But it is what it is. So, it is my show. And so we just do the best we can with what we got. Yes, we were on the floor for the whole show and saw inches up at the mini stage. You know what? Thank you, please. And we do love Tim. I do love Tim. Go catch his Snap, Crackle, Pop hour that he does. And it is entertaining. I've heard bits of it. I have. And cowboy. I want to be a cowboy. And you can be my cowgirl. Who the fuck did that song? I don't even remember. It just pulled into my head now. I'd rather sing that than the No Talent hack Bon Jovi. I'm a cowboy in a steel horse I ride. Wanted, dead or alive, 'cause I'm a No Talent hack. I got lucky twice. Anchovy, you No Talent hack. So is Barbara Streisand. She's a No Talent hack too. And Madonna, so is she. She was a musical whore. That's all we could say about it. Yeah, see, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for validating me. Richie Sambora, I like you. I respect you. You're a great guitar player. But Bon Jovi, you're a no-talent hack. And Richie, maybe the best thing was leaving Bon Jovi or getting fired or whatever the hell. I don't know what the story was. That's right. His name was Tony, wasn't it? Tony Bon Jovi, as you wrote. Yes. I'd rather listen to Skid Row from Jersey, or Twisted Sister, or anybody else that came out of Jersey from hair metalish. I know what you're talking about. I've heard Stony End. I think she goes a little over the top, but that's just me. But now saying that, I'll admit, I don't know why I had the 45 of You Don't Bring Me Flowers. I was a kid. That's my only defense. That's the only partial Streisand I ever owned, because I don't have it anymore. I can say that my collection is 100% Streisand free. And Bon Jovi free, too. Seriously. If somebody gave me a pair of concert tickets to go see Bon Jovi, I'd be like, pass. Same thing for, hey, you want to go see Lynyrd Skynyrd? I got 2 free tickets. Pass. Ricky Medlock, by the way, who has been in Skynyrd, and he also was Blackfoot. Okay. He was in Blackfoot. He owns Blackfoot, the name. That's why the rest of the band members can't use it, which I think is bullshit, but whatever. So Ricky has started another solo band, and I'm going, why? Why? Now, saying about Skynyrd for 2 seconds, though. If Artemis Pyle was to come anywhere near my neighborhood, I said Pyle, I would go see the APB band, because I'm actually told they're pretty good. And he is basically, literally, your last person that has anything to do with classic Skynyrd. I was this close to getting to meet Bob Burns, the original drummer. That's another story for another day. Is that right? Now, see, I didn't know that, but I am glad you did, because you should know these things. Yes, and yes, I saw the documentary. And I was told that it's about 80% accurate, that movie. 80%. 20% padded, if you will. But even 80%, I'm like, hell yeah. I would love to meet Artemis. I heard that he, after every show, does go out and does meet and greets with the fans. So yeah, that's so actually. Let's see, what was it? I think I still have all my Skynyrd albums. I think I do. And I had both the Rossington Collins albums, which the first one's great, by the way, if you've never heard that. Anytime, Any Place, Anywhere. I think that's what it was called. The first one, though, okay? The Alan Collins Band, they put out one. I found that. I need to get the APB album, which, if I remember correctly, I think that came out at IMCA. I am such a nerd that I actually have a Christian album from 1984, and the band, it was out of Florida, was named Vision. Vision, for 2 years, had Billy Powell from Skynyrd as a member, and he co-writes. I have that Vision album. I will show that in a later stream if you've never seen it. I was surprised that I found that damn thing many years ago. But if you can imagine, all right, so I told you Billy Powell was with them for 2 years. Well, some of the members from Vision ended up going to Mark Farner's solo band, but there was about a year, I want to say it was 85, there was a year where Vision opened for Mark Farner, and then Vision would play the encore with Mark Farner's band. So you had Mark Farner from Grand Funk and Billy Powell from Skynyrd, all on the same fucking stage. I wish there was a live tape of one of those shows, because yeah, it was about a year's worth for that lineup, and then they all went their separate ways. So yeah, you know, Ed King was something else too. I will tell you that it was bullshit how he got let go. Bullshit from Skinner. And of course, I'm not talking the first time, because when he left, which if I remember correctly was shortly before Give Me Back My Bullets, or maybe that was the last thing he worked on. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about his 96 exit, okay? Because he came back and he was a member like 87, 88 when they reunited. They brought him back, and he was on the great, okay, other than the original Lynyrd Skynyrd albums, okay, the closest you're going to get in feel is the Lynyrd Skynyrd 1991 album on Atlantic Records. I did have it on vinyl. I sold it to a friend, a West German press. But I'm telling you, if you love Skynyrd, check out just that album, though, okay? Because the rest of it, to me, isn't as good. But the Lynyrd Skynyrd 91, you get every surviving member of Skynyrd is on this album. And there's guest stars, too. So it would behoove you to find that. The single was Smokestack Lightning, and I remember they played that on the radio. Yeah, they treated him like shit, and he died in 2018, too. They could have mended fences, but no. And you know what? I heard it was Rossington's fault. Rossington's the one that wouldn't let King back in for whatever fucking reason. George, thank you, and thank you for all the kind words. And you know what, guys? On that note, we're going to head out. I want everybody to take care. God bless. Rock on. Have yourselves a great rest of the week. Try to stay cool. I feel bad for the people in Hawaii and in California for the tropical storm, and the people in Texas that are having to deal with the tropical storms. Just barrel through. Try to do the best you can. We are living in troubled times. We are living in crazy, eternal crazy town, ladies and gentlemen. But it's not like a butterfly, baby. See, if you get that reference, good for you. If not, I'm too tired. All right, everybody, I love you. Live long, prosper, peace. Take care, guys. And thanks for coming to Psyko.